Welcome to Skills for Life, a podcast about high-demand jobs that are shaping future opportunities. This show is brought to you by the North Shore Schools Foundation. I'm Kira Dorrian, your host and a North Shore mom. Let's get started. Well, today on the show, I get to speak with Lucy Hansen. She is a Solid Waste Operations Supervisor. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here today.
I'm so happy we managed to make it work. We had a lot of issues that our listeners don't know about, but we got here and we're recording. And I've got my phone held up to the microphone on speaker. That's how we're recording this podcast. So it's going to be great. So Lucy, let's just start by having you tell everybody a little bit about what it is you do now and give us a kind of overview as to how you got there, because I know you really worked your way right up the ladder in solid waste, and I'm really excited to hear how you did that.
Yeah. So first of all, I entered this employment with Snohomish County just as a entry-level position. So entry-level as a site attendant. I worked at all of the sites. I did a lot of overtime as a laborer, which is a different job in solid waste still. And once I got out to all the sites, and I just learned so much, and the whole thing just really kind of fascinated me. Currently, I'm a solid waste operations supervisor. I started in an entry-level position, and I went from site attendant to working at all of our disposal sites in and around the garbage, collecting money from customers, working with the public, to an office position. In the office, it was still with solid waste, and I was in charge of fielding phone calls from the public and providing them with information about waste options in the county. So I did that not even for a year, and then this opportunity came up to be a solid waste supervisor. And it just really intrigued me because mostly I loved the people that I worked with. Everyone was just so hardworking, and I saw things that I thought I could make maybe better for them. And I also was just really intrigued with the whole operations side of solid waste. That's kind of what brought me here. I was in operations in the fishing industry for some years before I decided that I was going to just stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom. And I did that for 10 years. And it was after that I decided, my kids were grown, and I thought, well, it's time to get back to work. So I just took the entry-level job at the county. I had, pretty much just thought I'd given up my career, but I was able to advance in the county pretty quickly. And thanks to my past experience in operations, different industry, but it really paralleled in a lot of ways.
Okay, so I love hearing that as a mom myself. That is really inspiring because I think, this is a podcast for our students, but a lot of parents listen. And so thank you for also speaking a little bit to the moms out there that are like, will I ever get back into the workforce? I don't know. So that's really great to hear. So tell me a little bit about how you see this field transforming, because this is a field where we're going to need it always, right? But how has, technology made an impact? What do you think it's going to look like for our students as they come out of school and into the workplace? Tell me a little bit about what you see coming down the pipeline.
So before I started this job, I never thought much about garbage. I would throw my stuff in the garbage just like everyone else. I did make an attempt to recycle. I have a worm bin at home, so I put all my food scraps in there. But I just never really thought about garbage. So when I got here, and just to see the amount of garbage that is generated in our county alone, it's pretty astounding. On any given day, I'm going to guesstimate that we, just from our facilities, put out over 4 million pounds of garbage. That's a lot of garbage. So,
did you say a day?
Yes.
Oh my!
A day.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is truly astounding. And so when you see this with your own eyes, you see that we need to think about the future. And we need to think about it now. I know part of our solid waste plan is to really put a focus on sustainable waste programs, such as reducing and reusing, and really putting an emphasis on recycle. Unfortunately, I think it was back in 2018 when the Chinese government largely stopped accepting recyclables from us, meaning the United States, because they were just kind of too dirty and they didn't want to handle them anymore. And so we're also inundated with recyclables that it's hard to know what to do with them. And so just everyone together, we really need to think about this. So if I were a student coming into this, if this was something you were interested in, I would take the environmental side, because we are really going to need some strong thinkers to help us figure out how to manage all this waste moving forward.
Wow, I am a little bit uncomfortable with the numbers that you just presented to me. But I really like that that's kind of what we're looking for and what we're going to need from our students who are coming into this field, those strong thinkers and people who care, just like it sounds like you do.
Yes.
That I love that you were able to get back out to the people too. I think that's really cool that you started kind of on site with the people and then moved into the office and then were able to get yourself back out to the people. And tell me a little bit about what kind of education students need to get into this field. What kind of things do they need to be thinking about right now if they're still in high school to set themselves up for success in this industry?
I mean, this is really just a basic entry-level position. That's where I started. And I don't have a college degree. However, I have a lot of experience with college. I did the tour of colleges. I did Whitman, University of Washington, Western. Those people that know exactly what they want to do out of high school, I applaud them so much, because I wanted to be a veterinarian. And then all of a sudden, I came down with these allergies that prevented me from being able to do that. And so I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But of course, a high school graduate, that is a prerequisite. You do need to be a high school graduate. Any kind of college courses that are going to prepare you for math and, reading and writing are always good skills to have. And any advanced skills in that area are going to help you with this job. Also, customer service is a huge part of this job. We deal with the public on a daily basis, all day, every day. This is a 7-day-a-week operation. And we really take pride in providing the public with good customer service.
What kind of student do you think thrives in this environment? Because I heard you say that everybody's really hardworking. So I'm assuming that's a skill that, just an innate quality about someone beyond whatever they've learned in school or, that kind of thing. What kind of personality traits do you think matter in this industry?
Someone who is flexible, for sure. You have to be able to think fast. We also like the skills of being able to diffuse situations. Customers, sometimes they come in and they might not understand our operations, or they might be upset because, for example, at our facilities, we do not take plastic for recycle. That's a curbside service. So like Waste Management, Rubatino and Republic, some of the curbside haulers that come and pick up the garbage at your house, they are able to take the recyclables, but oftentimes we have customers that come in and they get very angry that we're not able to take their plastic. And so just having the skills of being able to talk to the customer and maybe talk them down if their anger gets kind of high, and just being able to explain to them calmly and knowledgeably about our services and why we don't take plastic recycle, for example.
So someone a little bit unflappable, it sounds like.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. I love that. So tell me what you love about your job. I know you mentioned you love the people you work with and you're kind of fascinated by the operations of it. And obviously, we've talked about the environmental piece and something it sounds like you care about. So what other facets do you enjoy?
I love working with the public as well. I didn't think I would like it so much, but I really do. There are so many different kinds of people out there, different cultures that we get to work with. One of the things I did excel in high school and college was the Spanish language. And we had so many Hispanic folks out there that working and customers. And it's just so cool to be able to speak to them in Spanish sometimes. Let's see. Besides that, I love that every day is different at this job. I'm not always sitting behind a desk and, plopping away at a computer. I'm out in the field. I get to talk to people, and you just never know what's going to happen. So it's a very exciting job.
Oh, I love hearing that. So I guess my last question is, what takeaways do you have for our students? Do you have any words of wisdom? If you could kind of go back to your 18-year-old self, what would you want her to know? What do you want our students to know? Anything that they can, hear this podcast and take away with them for the road?
Working for Snohomish County government or any county government, it's a really, really good opportunity. There's so many entry-level jobs that you don't necessarily, have to have a 4-year college degree for, or even any college degree for. They really promote, they like to promote from within. There's a career pathways just about in every department here. Public works for roads, they have seasonal jobs, tons of seasonal jobs, because we have to keep our roads in shape and the sides of the roads, the weeds whacked. Just so much. And so many of our supervisors, lead workers, they just started in that entry-level temporary position, to get their foot in the door. And the benefits here are amazing. Full medical, dental, vision, and it's one of the few places left where you get a pension. So, when you retire. So really, it's a fantastic place to start a career.
Oh, I love that. And a pension? Who gets a pension anymore? That's amazing.
Right?
Incredible. I love it. Lucy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today and sharing all this information with our students and parents. This was great. And it was really, really important for me to hear the information about the waste. I had absolutely no idea. And I hope that all of our listeners are inspired a little bit by that to do just a little bit better. I guess I have a final bonus question, which is, it has nothing to do with this podcast, but since we're talking about it, what is one thing we could all do that would make a difference to that crazy number that you threw out earlier?
Really is to focus on reducing, reusing, and recycling what you can. Really just doing your best to generate less waste.
Awesome. Lucy, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you. It was so great to be here.
We hope you'll join us again, and remember to hit subscribe to be notified about upcoming episodes. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, Build Skills for Life. That's Build Skills, the number 4, and then the word life. Are you interested in advertising as a sponsor for this podcast? Contact us at podcast@nsdfoundation.org. To learn more about the North Shore Schools Foundation, visit us at northshoreschoolsfoundation.org. Thanks for listening.